Coming up tonight, a 28-year-old man charged with a teen girl's murder. The controversial Christmas tree gets a makeover. Plus, which senator reportedly has outstanding student loans?
Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to Our News, and thanks for joining us. I'm Voining Tude. Topping news tonight, a 28-year-old man has been charged with the murder of a teen girl whose partially nude body was discovered near an abandoned home off Yamacraw Hill Road last week with head and neck injuries. Gabriel Thompson, seen here wearing the black shirt, was charged with one count of murder following the death of 17-year-old Kenrika Martin. It is alleged that sometime between November 26th and 27th, Thompson unlawfully and intentionally caused the death of Martin. He was not required to enter a plea and bail was denied. His matter was adjourned to February 6, 2020. He was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. He was not represented by an attorney and had no family present in court. Meanwhile, 37-year-old Andy Johnson of Dominica Way was charged with the December 2nd shooting death of Brian Evans Jr. He was not required to enter a plea to the charge and returns to court on February 6, 2020. Bail was denied and he was also remanded to prison. In other news, it inspired songs, videos, and even memes. The Christmas tree in Rawson Square went viral on social media this week, but for all the wrong reasons. It prompted the Ministry of Culture to spring into action, changing those decorations on that tree overnight. Jared Higgs has that.
Bahamians on social media were up in arms over the decorations on the 40-foot Christmas tree in Rawson Square, the marine life-themed tree failing to get many in the Christmas spirit.
Oh, it looked like
Well, those decorations, which some likened to Lucky Charms cereal, were taken down and left in boxes and stacks near the Senate building. The new Christmas tree taking on a more traditional look.
lack of effort, looks like, and materials.
Much better.
What did you think about it when you saw it yesterday?
Oh, I thought it was some kind of preschool thing.
What would you give it on a scale of 1 to 10 yesterday?
Yesterday, it's like a 3.
Oh yes, the new tree is much better. Spend our money properly.
Culture Minister Lanisha Roll wasn't sure how much the tree cost.
I don't think that it is more than $20,000, but the permanent secretary can give that specific detail.
She also wasn't sure whether it costs more to change the design.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Our News spoke to the original decorator of the Christmas tree and she declined an on-camera interview. However, she did confirm that a decision was made to go another route with the Christmas tree decorations. While social media critics were relentless in expressing their dissatisfaction with the decorator's work, some people thought the tree had potential.
My kids love this stuff they were seeing in the tree.
Oh, man.
All the grandkids stuff, they were like, oh, Dad, Grandpa, look at all that fun stuff on the tree downtown. But
Now, whoever made the decision to change it did it based on public opinion, which I don't think they should have, but it is what it is.
You can see they were trying with shells, seahorses, you know, marine themed.
Kind of cool to do that, yeah, man. But now, to compare to our shells and everything, this one look more like in New York.
That look lovely, man.
You like this?
Yeah, man. I love that, and this one too. You know, but I don't see anything wrong with this. Whereby we have some the conch shell, the stars. You know, these are the native, man. These are the Bahamian, and I mean, I even felt this even was a sight to see.
Sadly for those supporters of the original tree design, it wasn't meant to be. The finished product on the more traditional tree is set to be unveiled at Friday's Christmas tree lighting ceremony. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
Opposition leader Philip Davis gave notice in the House of Assembly last night that at the next sitting, he intends to move for a vote of no confidence in Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis. It stems from the Minnis administration's controversial decision to relocate the General Post Office to Town Center Mall, which St. Anne's MP Brent Simonet partially owns. Davis told Parliament that Minnis knowingly, intentionally, and deliberately misled the House when he said that Simonet was not involved in discussions regarding the Town Center Mall lease agreement.
Louis,
that the member of Port Kalani knowingly, intentionally, and deliberately misled this Honorable House. We ask that in their deliberations, House members uphold the ancient tradition, convention, and precedent of these hollow chambers by placing the honor and integrity of this honorable House above partisan politics and cult of personality. Now be it resolved that this honorable House has no confidence in the member for Kalani to continue to serve as Prime Minister or in this honorable House.
Simonet, who is now a backbencher after resigning from the Minnis cabinet earlier this year, sat behind Davis as he gave notice in Parliament last night. However, Minnis was not in the lower chamber at the time. The controversy surrounding the Town Centre Mall deal reached fever pitch after Simonet admitted during an interview that the Prime Minister called him to discuss the amount of space that would be leased and for how much. At the time, Simonet said he told Minnis that he could not deliver a Rolls Royce, but the government could get a Volkswagen.
The member was an honest Abe, fairly stated and publicly admitted during a nationally televised interview following his resignation or retirement from cabinet that he was intimately involved in discussions with the Prime Minister, the member for Kalani, on the terms and conditions of the said lease agreement, leading up to the decision to accept the offer to lease portions of the Town Centre Mall.
The Education Loan Authority placed a notice in daily newspapers today urging persons with outstanding student loans to bring those payments up to date. Well, one of the names on that list is government-appointed Senator Raynard Henfield. The authority said it published the list because officials were unable to reach those persons with delinquent student loans. When contacted today, Henfield insisted he has no debt and the last payment was made in 2004. Henfield said he is in public life and everything has an agenda. Opposition senators slamming National Security Minister Marvin Dames after he defended the police officer who admitted in court to having a joint meeting with the prosecution's two key witnesses in the Shane Gibson case so that they could iron out ambiguities in their police statements. Though several noted attorneys have spoken out against what they called an alarming and dangerous revelation, Dames defended the lead investigator, ASP Deborah Thompson, saying officials have the utmost confidence in her. Senator Fred Mitchell called the National Security Minister's comments disappointing and shocking.
I am surprised that he just does not get it. And when I read the specific things he says, he's getting all of this emotional, personal stuff, which has nothing to do with the principle. This is not emotional and this is not personal to him. This is a matter of our system. It's been discovered that our system has a problem.
During the trial, the court heard comments made by ASP Thompson during that meeting. ASP Thompson says, quote, "The reason I invited y'all back here is to clear up some ambiguities in your statements. And if there was anything you don't agree with, you let us know so that we could clear this up." She added, quote, "We need to iron this out because y'all are giving two different accounts as to what transpired," end quote. Deborah Thompson testified that the meeting was wrong in hindsight. Mitchell said, given the fact that even Thompson admitted it was wrong, the minister's defense was out of place.
If he continues to be the Minister of National Security, he has some responsibilities to correct that problem, not to pronounce that the wrongdoing is right doing. And that's the issue.
Attorney General Carl Bethel expressing shock over France's decision to blacklist the Bahamas. Bethel addressed the issue in the Senate today. Jasmine Brown reports.
The AG continued the Minnis administration's scathing rebuke of the French government's actions. However, he assured the Bahamian people that the government will address the concerns.
It has been an unfortunate circumstance that we were somewhat blindsided by the French government.
The Bahamas was among 4 countries that were added to a French list of non-cooperative states and territories in tax matters earlier this week. While Bethel said he was disappointed by the French government's move, he insisted the Bahamas cannot allow hurt feelings to get in the way.
Despite the surprise attack, if you will, by the French, we cannot allow our hurt feelings that a country that has invested through its nationals profitably in the Bahamas for decades with whom we have always had friendly relations, with whom we are in fact allies, should have blindsided us in this way. But we must not forget that we are a responsible member of the world community.
Bethel also maintained that records at the Office of the Attorney General reflect total compliance from the Bahamas. However, he said determining France's precise issue has been a challenge due to different tracking systems. He also insisted that the Bahamas is only being held to the same standards as the rest of the world.
I think that we have to accept that they too are under pressure from their parliamentarians, and sometimes countries that have these issues have to find someone to strike out at.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Still to come, UB and UTEP sign a long-awaited industrial agreement. Plus, the culture minister responds to calls for her resignation. Stay tuned.